trust in this woman's hands right now. Hello. All right, so I found this nice little spot out here that I'm going out to. And I don't know, you can see it out here. Got this awesome lighting over here, front lit. So I'm gonna try to make my way over there and try to get that shot. So I got the 4x5 set up here. And man, it's getting really bright really fast. And we got this nice little tree. So lighting is changing really quick, so I'm gonna have to make some adjustments here in just a second, but that's pretty much it. All right, so we just finished up the shoot. With the 4x5, everything is so backlit right now that, you know, anybody that knows shooting film, you really don't want to shoot into the sun. You're not going to get any details. The dynamic range between your shadows and your lights are just way too much, and that's what's happened now. So we're going to leave Cades Cove here. Awesome place in the morning, super busy, but we are now off to our next place where we're going to capture some waterfalls and some rivers off the roads. Alright guys, so I'm down at this waterfall right now. We've got this really nice pocket of light that's coming in here. Unfortunately, I really wanted to shoot this with slide film, but the light is just so harsh right now that I'm going to have to go to color negative just to get that extra dynamic range, because if I shot this with slide, the darks will be too dark. The white areas will be just completely blown out and completely unrecoverable. So I'll have a little bit more play. I'm probably going to shoot portrait 160 in this shot. Go with 400, maybe slow down the waterfall, but let me show you what I got here. So I got this waterfall over here with the 4x5. I got 135 millimeter on here. I might change it out. I might go with something like a I don't know, maybe the 90 millimeter, which kind of gives me like a super wide angle look. But you can see this is what I'm going to be looking at right now here pretty soon. All right, so what you'll see here is I got the Velvia 100. It's just unfortunately the lighting, you can see that one pocket of lighting right in that area is just going to get completely blown out. So I cannot shoot this today, unfortunately. So portrait 160 it is. All right, so my meter right now is saying f45 at f4 at at ISO 100. The problem with this is that I'm now going to run into some problems with reciprocity at 4 seconds. So I got to go double check my reciprocity and make the adjustment for any failure on that. So reciprocity timer app. All right, so 4 second exposure without any ball compensation and a short bellows, so I don't really need to worry about it. My actual exposure is going to be 6 seconds long rather than the full 4 seconds. All right, so shutter's ready to go, ready to fire. So right now I need to set it to bulb mode. So I'm going to hold it down, give it 6 seconds, and then I'm going to close the shutter with my trigger. we are officially done with this spot. Alright, so I am at Dunwoody Photo and I am here to get this developed.
What were we doing for you? Developing, printing, scanning.
What's up?
Hey!
Got something for you.
Ooh. Awesome.
Take care of it. Alright, so film's been dropped off. I gotta wait a few days for it. That sucks. Well, it's not terrible. I mean, you know, I could have done it myself, but man, I'm working on doing this video for you guys. So I'm gonna drop it off. Maybe have a wardrobe change and come back a couple days later. Maybe. I don't know. Alright guys, so finally have some time to sit down to talk about this. It has been a busy few weeks. Just got back from a photo shoot just now actually. So let's talk about this a little bit. Smoky Mountains, really awesome place. It's one of those locations, one of the few national parks that are actually free to go into. So my wife and I, we traveled down there actually twice to kind of just get a feel for the place, know the locations that we wanted to shoot. So it was really helpful on the second time around because I really wanted to just get to the spots, shoot it, and then go. So we shot 2 locations, one being in Cades Cove and another one right off of Little River Road. And so this resulted in this image. So this one is just a little waterfall that I really enjoyed photographing. This is on Portra 160 at, I want to say this was like right around F45, and my exposure was probably right at about 6 seconds. The meter called for a 4-second exposure, but as you probably saw earlier, that it is actually, because of reciprocity, 6 seconds. So that's a common thing that a lot of large format photographers run into when they do long exposures, is that these exposures can run for a very long time. So reciprocity becomes a real failure. For those that do not know what reciprocity failure is, exposure is not linear. So there's going to be a drop off as time increases. The amount of exposure that the film needs increases, so it becomes less and less sensitive to light over more time. So that poses a problem. So like you may have a 1 minute exposure on a digital camera, but that exposure at 1 minute is not going to be same on film. That 1 minute exposure in instances may need to end up being something longer, like 3 to 4 minutes to get the same effect on digital. So that's a real thing that a lot of photographers have to worry about. So the second problem in this particular image is that I ended up deciding to go with color negative instead of slide film. Now, the issue in this particular image is that the dynamic range is significantly higher than what slide film would have been able to handle. So in this particular shot here, you could actually see that there are certain areas in this image where you can see there's still some detail in this brightest spots in this image. In slide, it would have been completely blown out. So that's one of the biggest things that, as far as a choice, knowing the film that you want to use for these shots. So overall, the edge-to-edge sharpness on this is spectacular. There's incredible amounts of detail on this. Now, the funny thing is that I only scanned this at 100 megapixels. So I sent this off to get this drum scan by Michael Strickland. I have not gotten that back yet, so it's going to be a while. So there's a lot of more stories to come as a result of this image. Well, I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I just want to give a quick shout out to PhotoKlassik International. This group of folks, I've teamed up with them and they are absolutely awesome. There is a lot of great content in here, interviews with a lot of names that you would be familiar with. For example, Bellamy Hunt, Japan Camera Hunter, Lena Besanova, just so much in here. I highly recommend checking these guys out. We have an affiliate set up with them, and literally there's about 130 pages in this magazine in here, and I just wanted to throw a shout out to them. If you want to help support them, support us, and you know what, you can get some awesome content and be part of this.